Hello. Okay, so I was assigned to present, so to speak, um, Performance Standard 2, which is being able to indicate domain and range on on an interval notation. And what that is domain is specific to your x values and range is specific to your y values. And we'll talk about that in a minute, just to give you a little like precinct of what it looks like. So domain, range here. Oh, infinity to 9. It's going to be negative infinity to 3 for domain, range, negative 9 to infinity. Alright, this is totally not towards anything, but when you see things looking like this, that's what interval notation is. So within these parameters here. And so I'm going to provide a problem and I'll tell you step by step how to go through it, but you need some background knowledge, so to speak. So with any function, it's going to be indicated by an f of x or y equals whatever. And there's multiple types of functions. You have your quadratic, absolute value, square root, cubic, quartic, you name it. So a couple different types of functions you could be faced with. You need to know how to plug them into your graphing calculator, and obviously you need a graphing calculator. I have the Texas Instruments TI-84. Seems to be pretty common, I guess. But any calculator with graphing capabilities works. This is the only one I know how it's exactly set up, though. So, yeah. So with any function, you're always going to plug it in by hitting the y equals button, which is right here. So turn it on, hit y equals. You have your function in front of you. With a quadratic function, you have x, and then right here you're going to have a squared, x squared. To plug in, say you have an absolute value function. To plug that in, you always hit second, math, scroll. Oh no, you don't. I do that all the time. See, I even make mistakes. So you're just gonna hit math. You don't hit second. So to repeat myself, do not hit second. Just hit math. Once you get to the y equals screen, hit the word math. Scroll to where it says number right here. See the word number? Or NUM right here. It'll be the first one. You hit enter. Then you're going to have your absolute value bars and you plug in x plus 7 if that's what it is. Scroll out of it and then continue on. If you have a square higher than, well, not really a square then, but if your number is exponentially higher than 2, then you're gonna hit this caret button. So say I had x to the 5th or something. I would type in my x right here, and I have a caret. Caret up, type in 5. Scroll over, continue on. Anytime it's bigger than 2. So anytime it's, yeah, just anytime it's bigger than 2. So clear out of that. Today, so let's go ahead and graph a function, because that was just talking about functions. It's not even relevant really to the performance standard, which is only about finding the x and y intercepts, providing the domain and range, and putting it in interval notation. And I'm going to provide you with a function. So let's say y equals x squared minus 9. So you go to your calculator, x, square it, continue on, subtract 9, and then when you go to graph it, you hit the word graph, which is right here, the end. Okay? And so your domain only matters when it comes to y value. Sorry, not this. The y value. Why am I saying y? I just can't stop making mistakes right now. I've got a lot on my mind. X value. So domain x. Domain x. Get it through your head. So, as you can see, this is just, you know, your simple quadratic function. And this line is just going to continue going out, 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 out forever and ever and ever. And this line is going to continue out in the negative, because this is your positive, this is your negative. Out, 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 out forever and ever. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger if you just keep going up and up and up. So that makes domain for this is going to be always, it's going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. With any quadratic function, your domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. And to write that, you write negative infinity to positive. You write domain negative infinity to positive infinity with a representation of your graph So here you have your domain. This is interval notation. It's held into place by the parentheses. And it simply is just telling them, reinstating that it's going from negative infinity to positive infinity. For your range, you find your y-intercept. And a quick way to do it, a little shortcut, when you're looking for a y-intercept, not x-intercept, y-intercept, there's a button at the top of your calculator next to the graph. It says trace. Hit it, and it'll tell you x equals 0, y equals 9. So that always finds the y-intercept for you. And since y actually lands on 9, you do something a little bit different, and you use a bracket instead of a circle-y thing, parentheses. And so your range will be indicated like this. And since, oh, and also if you note, sorry, I forgot to tell you this, note that your function is going upwards. It's only going up into the positive for infinity. So your range is going to be from -9, because it's down here at -9, crossing the y-axis, going up, and it's always up to positive infinity. But like I said, since it actually lands on 9, it will be indicated like this, with the bracket, -9, infinity. These are infinity symbols, for any of you that didn't know. And also, you're going to always go from least to greatest. So if this was upside down, and it went from, so say this was flipped, it was like -x² minus 9. This would be upside down. And that would make this negative infinity to -9. Because you always go from least to greatest. So, thank you. Sorry if that took a little long for such a simple equation. I just was trying to be thorough. But, thank you. I think we are done here. Oh, and also one more thing to cover just before. I should have told you this when I was telling you all your prior knowledge. If you ever go to your graph and you can't see it right because it's all out of whack, you always hit, there's a button at the top, it's called zoom. So you hit zoom, hit the number 6, and it'll always take you back to standard, like standard tuning. If this was a guitar, I don't know. Anyway, it'll take you back to like the standard view. So, because sometimes you have to move your window around to see your X or Y intercept or whatever. And, so that's how you fix that problem. So just so you know. But, domain, range, interval notation, we're doing good. So, hope you learned something. Thanks.